Hello, I'm Brett Knowles from PM2 Consulting. This short video gives you a very high-level review of how 7 Geese supports some of the principles we see in the Balanced Scorecard, as well as some core human resource practices required in organizations. So the idea inside of the Balanced Scorecard, just as a quick refresher, is that Balanced Scorecard captures an organization's strategy. And we capture it often in something like this called a strategy map, where we identify the organization's strategic goals and objectives and their weightings. So it's important to note that as you cascade down the organization, the objectives often change. So in this example of an airline, I've got the corporate entity and then different departments that do different things. So an objective like fast ground turnaround for the airplanes, each department has a different role to play in contributing to that. So inside of the 7 Geese application, we need the ability to have the overall objective and then understand how it cascades down to other objectives that are owned by other departments, teams, or individuals. Finally, what we need to do is add on the key results next to each objective. And of course, these should be those SMART indicators that exist already in your organization. So let's take a look at how this is represented in 7 Geese. So the first thing is to understand that those strategic goals are captured inside of 7 Geese. And just to be a bit more detailed, this purple icon here indicates a corporate objective, and it happens to have the image of the person that owns that particular objective. What we can also do is capture the weightings that we have from the strategy map or your scorecard and attach those so that we have the right priority next to each of these objectives to ensure alignment across the organization. Now, next to each one of these, we then can add in the SMART indicators associated with it. So in this case, we can see the indicators, the progress, and the overall status. So with that quick overview, let's see what it looks like inside the 7 Geese application. So the more full screen shows us the overall scorecard on the right hand side, and under the objectives view, the ability to sort what we're going to take a look at. I can then begin to drill down into the child objectives. So like the cascade that I showed you in the PowerPoint, we can now reflect that cascade into subordinate measures. How I often am going to look at the scorecard, though, might be just through feed. So in feed, I can see the recent activities down the right, but on the left, I can see my objectives, my department objectives, and the organizational objectives. And within each of these, I can see what the status is, and the dark blue shading the background shows the level of progress we've made so far. So on the feed page, I can get a quick view. So that's enough of a summary on the Balanced Scorecard side. This now links, though, into more detail around the HR side. So any one of these objectives, if I just hover over them, I can begin to see the drill down metrics. And if I wanted to, I can go into more detail or do a check-in on each one. What I can also do is provide recognition. So if I see another employee who's done a great job, I can quickly recognize a team member. I can give or seek feedback. So against these objectives, I can now choose from the preset templates or create our own template and go ahead and either review someone else in the team or ask someone for feedback. Finally, we can also arrange one-on-ones. The one-on-ones allow us to, again, choose a particular template that I would like, such as my annual performance conversation, something about cultures and values, maybe our monthly OKR conversation. Remember, part of our goal here is to get away from the more formal annual performance reviews to more frequent, less formal conversations. And so based on whichever of these we would like, we can then choose people who are within the organization and go ahead and schedule these meetings. So the tool then begins to capture all these feedbacks so that on an ongoing basis, I can have a performance conversation with my boss and subordinates containing both the balanced scorecard information and the additional information that comes through the performance conversations you're having in a 360 environment inside your organization. So I hope this has been a useful overview for you of how 7 Geese includes both the scorecard components and the human resource components into a single activity for your organization.